All right, thanks, guys. We got ourselves a lot of great college basketball action here today. Just want to quickly remind you my current Army Navy football game pick is live right now on my Patreon website. Link for that site is in the description section below. That's patreon.com/rockpage. We're also 5-2 in our last 7 board member package plays on that website as well. But once again, if you want to check out my current Army Navy pick, that's a part of the college football package, and it is on my Patreon website. Once again, link for that site is in the description section below. That is patreon.com/rockpage. All right, once again, good slate of college basketball. A couple of games that are not on our big screen, but we're going to go ahead and get into them, starting with Kansas State taking on Mississippi State. Now, that's going to be an 11:30 a.m. Eastern tip-off this morning here, so that's going to go off in a couple of hours. But anyway, Mississippi State, excuse me, sorry about that. That's disgusting. But anyway, Mississippi State -3, total 126. Saw a half a point move toward the Bulldogs and movement upward on the total. Mississippi State opened as the 2.5 point favorite, up to -3. Total open 125.5, up to 126. 55% of the consensus are leaning toward Mississippi State. 51% shaded toward the over. Now the Bulldogs of MSU, they've dropped 2 out of their last 3 games. They also failed to cover in 2 out of those 3 games as well. They're shooting just 66% from the stripe. You might as well foul them, put them on the line. Kansas State on the other side, winners in 2 out of their last 3. They're also 6-3 straight up overall for the year. Hey guys, believe it or not, this Kansas State squad ranks at the top 20 in points allowed. Very stingy on defense. They're allowing just 58 points per contest, and their opponents are shooting just 39% from the field. Now, Xavier Sneed, he's averaging 15 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 2 steals for Kansas State. Cartier Diarra, 11 points a game, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals. And McCall Mawane, 8 points a game, 5 rebounds, and he is shooting 74% from the stripe. Now, total-wise, Kansas State 5-0 to the over in their last 5 straight. Meanwhile, 4 out of Mississippi State's last 5 got over the number as well. I'm going to lean toward the road dog in this one. Give me K-State +3 in the over 126 in that contest. Next matchup. This should be on the board here. Yeah, there it is. We're looking at Oregon taking on Michigan, 12 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. The Wolverines are the 4-point favorite, total at 138. We did see a half a point fade of Michigan and movement downward on the total. The Wolverines open 4.5 down to -4. Total open 138.5 down to 138 even. 64% of the consensus are leaning toward Michigan, 65% shaded toward the over. The Wolverines have dropped 2 out of their last 3 games, where they failed to cover in 2 out of those 3 as well. They lost by 9 points to Illinois. I thought maybe they should have been a little bit more competitive in that one. I had them to win. They also lost by 15 to Louisville. Now, Louisville's excellent. They're outstanding. But Michigan not even competitive in that matchup. A double-digit defeat to Louisville. And, of course, if you're going to be one of the top-ranked teams in the country, you're going to have to compete with teams like Louisville and not lose by 15. But anyway, Oregon on the other side, I've been pretty impressed by these guys. They've successfully covered the number in 7 out of their last 8 games. They're 3-1 against the number away from home. They're averaging 79 points per contest. Basically, they're averaging nearly 80 points a game. They're also shooting 48% from the field. Peyton Pritchard's averaging 19 points a game, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Anthony Mathis, 11 points a game, 2 rebounds. And Chris Duarte, 10 points and 5 rebounds for Chris. This Oregon squad, they rank in the top 20 in offensive three-point percentage. They can really shoot it from downtown. And as a matter of fact, they're shooting 40% from beyond the arc. And defensively, they've been excellent on that side of the ball as well. Their opponents are shooting just 37% from the field. They're shooting just 28% from downtown. And this Oregon squad, they have marquee wins over the likes of Seton Hall, Houston, and Memphis. So pretty good resume there for Oregon backers. We're looking at an Oregon squad who's 5-0 to the over in their last 5, 4-0 to the over when traveling. Michigan on the other side, 4-3 to the over in their last 7 themselves. They're also 60% to the over as the official, home team. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward the Ducks in this matchup here. Give me Oregon +4 in the over 138 in that contest. All right, next matchup. Obviously, no surprises there, not on our big screen. But our next matchup, pretty marquee matchup here. We're looking at Syracuse taking on Georgetown. 1 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. The Hoyas are the 3-point favorite, total at 147.5. We saw a half a point fade of Georgetown and movement downward on the total. The Hoyas open as the 3.5-point favorite, down to -3. Total open 150, down to 147.5. 63% are leaning Georgetown, 64% shaded toward the under. The Hoyas, winners in their last 2 straight games. They're also 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. This Georgetown squad is averaging 79 points per contest. They're also shooting 37.4% from downtown. They're also shooting 77% from the stripe. Omer Yurtseven, 16 points a game, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks. Mac McClung, 15 points a game, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. And James Aquino, 13 points a game, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists for Georgetown. Now Syracuse, the Orange, they've dropped 3 out of their last 4 games. They also failed to cover in 4 out of their last 6. Now 5 out of Syracuse's last 7 did get over the number. Meanwhile, Georgetown 6-2 to the over in their last 8 themselves. I'm going to lean toward the chalk in this one. Give me Georgetown laying the 3 in the over 147.5 in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines of personal leans out for Saturday's college basketball action. But before we dive into some more of that, I just want to quickly remind you to at least consider checking out my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where we do daily premium picks on that site beginning at just $1.99 per month. We also have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. One of our packages is called the Board Member Package, where we are currently 5-2 in our last 7 picks in that package. We're also hitting at 63% in our last 27 picks in that package. So that's a hot package right now, and I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably like, dude, why would I pay for your Patreon page when you're just giving me the picks for free here on YouTube? I understand that thought, and I will address that at the end of this show. I will address that concern at the end of the show, and currently, our Army-Navy pick is live on that site. That's a part of the college football package, so if you want Army-Navy picks, I got 3 of them for the game, and they are in that college football package. Once again, patreon.com/BrockPage. Link for that site is in the description section below. All right, we got a bunch of more games to get into. I'm being extremely long-winded here today, but we have a couple games to get into. So our next matchup, once again, not on the board, but it's going to be Alabama taking on Penn State, and that'll be a 2 o'clock Eastern tip-off at the Bryce Jordan Center in Happy Valley. The Nittany Lions are the 10.5-point favorite in this one, total at 155. So a half a point move toward the Nittany Lions and movement upward on the total. Penn State opened 10, up to 10.5. Total open 154.5, up to 155. 67% are leaning Penn State, 71% shaded toward the under. The Nittany Lions, winners in 3 out of their last 4. They're 6-0 straight up at home, 8-2 straight up overall for the year. They're covering 70% of their games overall for the season. Absolute covering machines are these Nittany Lions. Now, Lamar Stevens, he's averaging 17 points a game, 8 rebounds, and 2 steals. Myrion Jones, 13 points a game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. And Mike Watkins, 11 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 blocks. This Penn State squad, winners in 5 out of their last 6 at the Bryce Jordan Center. They're scoring 80 points a game on average. They rank at the top 30 in offensive rebounding, and their opponents are shooting just 39% from the field. Now, Alabama on the other side, losers in 4 out of their 8 games overall for the year. They're allowing 78 points per contest, so this could potentially be a rout for this Nittany Lions squad. Now, total-wise, Alabama's 4-2 to the over in their last 6. Penn State 60% to the over for the season. I'm going to purchase the half a point, buy it down just in case, and take Penn State -10 in the over 155 in that contest. Next matchup, this should be a good one. Talking about Memphis taking on Tennessee. 3 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. The Volunteers are the 5.5-point favorite, total at 139. So a half a point move toward Tennessee and moving downward on the total. The ball is open 5 up to minus 5.5. Total open 139.5 down to 139 even. 56% are leaning Memphis, 54% shaded toward the under. Now Tennessee's failed to cover in 3 out of their last 4 games. They failed to cover against the likes of Florida A&M and Chattanooga, just to name a few. Memphis on the other side, 6-game winning streak, doing just fine without their main guy. 3-0 against the spread in their last 3. They rank in the top 25 in scoring, averaging 82 points per contest. Precious Achiuwa, 14 points a game, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks. DJ Jeffries, 12 points a game, 4 rebounds. And Lester Quinones, 10 points a game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. A couple more things to add here about Memphis. They rank in the top 25 in offensive rebounding, and they're shooting 47% from the field. So these guys do have the ability to put up some points, but they are very solid on defense as well. So before you go ahead pounding the over, just keep this in mind. Memphis is allowing just 64 points per contest. Their opponents are shooting just 36% from the field, which is good for top 10 in the nation. Once again, this Memphis squad ranks at the top 10 in defensive field goal percentage, once again at 36%. And their opponents are shooting just 29% from downtown. So with that said, Memphis 2-0 to the under in their last 2. I'm not really surprised about that. And of course, if you know Tennessee basketball over the past couple of years, it's tough to score against them as well. And they are 3-1 to the under in their last 4 themselves. So with all that in mind, I'm going to purchase the half a point. I'm going to buy it up, and I'm going to lean Memphis +6 and the under 139 in that game. All right.